Everything I have now, I earned through my own hard work. Some people call me shameless, others say I have no dignity, but to me, they are just envious because I dared to do what they only dream of. They can only badmouth me behind my back, but when they see me, they still greet me with smiles and respectfully call me Director Lee.
My name is Jessica Lee, and in my 20s, I am already the sales director at Seaside Corporation.
At 18, I graduated from a vocational school and applied for a job at this company. Although I started as an ordinary salesperson, I was discriminated against because of my low educational background. They assigned me the most difficult clients with the least commission.
To secure my position, I worked overtime every night, gathering client information, studying their real needs, and figuring out their preferences. I even knew the lipstick shades their partners liked. When dealing with clients who tried to take advantage, I had to skillfully navigate the situation.
Once, I encountered an extremely difficult client. Although the order was large and the commission high, no one wanted to take it because the client was notoriously tricky. Several colleagues had tried and failed miserably. Naturally, the team leader assigned this thankless task to me.
I didn't refuse like my colleagues because I had no connections or background, I only had myself. To secure the order, I drank with the client for a week straight, ending up in the hospital with a severe stomach issue. But I won the order and became the top salesperson in the team.
The team leader decided to throw a celebration party for me. During the party, he announced that a new supervisor would be joining the sales department, the daughter of the company's chairman, Emily Smith.
Hey, do you know how amazing our chairman's daughter is?
How amazing! Tell us.
Our chairman's daughter has a hobby of racing cars, especially after drinking. She drives like a rocket.
That's not much of a secret. Which rich kid doesn't have an expensive hobby?
It's not just the racing. 3 years ago, she hit and killed a girl while racing. The girl was a worker from a village on the outskirts of our city. Although Emily was at fault, she managed to twist the situation, labeling the girl as a scammer and didn't pay a cent in compensation.
Emily's relentless insults echoed through the hallway.
You're just a lowly, unrefined person from the countryside. You don't belong here. Go back to where you came from.
Her smug face made me sick as she walked closer, staring me in the eyes.
You think you can compete with me for the supervisor position? Go back and start over. You're nothing but a lowly insect, not even worthy of carrying my shoes.
I never knew someone could be so malicious. It turns out that wicked people never change. My hard work and sleepless nights were all for making money for this devil. My blood boiled with hatred, turning into sharp daggers that twisted in my heart. Emily Smith, my nemesis, I swear I will drag you into the depths of hell to face judgment. I didn't say a word in response. My colleagues admired my restraint, speculating if I would resign immediately. But I was plotting how to bring Emily down step by step. I decided to retreat to advance and add fuel to the fire. So, the next day, I went to Michael Smith's office with my resignation letter. Today, I deliberately put on a delicate makeup look to appear pitiful yet charming, with a touch of innocence. No matter how old a man is, they always like pretty girls, especially those who bring a sense of freshness.
Mr. Smith, this is my resignation letter.
You're doing well, why resign?
Michael didn't take the letter but walked over to me, placing his hand on my shoulder.
If I stay, it will make things difficult for you, Mr. Smith. I'd rather resign.
A pretty girl's tears are lethal to an older man. Besides, I bring significant profits to the company.
Emily has been spoiled by me. I already scolded her yesterday. Can you forgive her, considering she's still a child?
I almost laughed out loud. A child? She's already a demon who treats others' lives like dirt.
I don't want to make things difficult for you, Mr. Smith, nor do I want Miss Emily to be unhappy.
Even I felt disgusted by myself, but Michael seemed to appreciate it. As a result, Michael not only refused my resignation but also promised to promote me to sales director. Such good news, how could I not let Miss Emily know? Sure enough, it wasn't long before Emily stormed into the sales department, taking the director's seat. Recently, I had been letting Michael know that headhunters were trying to recruit me. On the day Emily took office, Michael called me to his office again.
Jessica, I'm sorry I broke my promise to you. You know,
The entire company was watching as Michael Smith's face darkened with anger.
I'm not old yet, and this family is not for you to dictate. Who I'm with is none of your business.
Michael Smith, you scumbag! Jessica Lee, you're a disgrace!
You too, get her out of here. She's embarrassing us.
Two female colleagues quickly pulled Emily away. Jessica pretended to explain to her and followed them out.
Emily, listen carefully. I will be your mother.
Emily was stunned for a moment, then went berserk, lunging at Jessica, screaming and tearing at her clothes. Michael, who had just stepped out of the room, slapped Emily across the face.
Emily! Have you lost your mind?
You hit me! You actually hit me for this vixen! I'll fight you!
Emily scratched and tore at Michael's clothes, leaving red marks. Michael's face was as dark as a storm cloud as he dragged Emily out of the hotel quickly. Watching the chaotic scene, Jessica felt a sense of satisfaction. Men have a rebellious spirit. The more you oppose them, the more they want to do it. After Emily's outburst, Michael promoted Jessica to deputy director of the marketing department. Emily didn't come to the office for several days. Michael's face was gloomy every day, indicating his daughter was causing him trouble. When Emily returned, she seemed to have learned her lesson and was much quieter. Michael must have pressured her, as she no longer openly targeted Jessica. During a routine meeting, Michael praised Jessica's recent work and decided to increase her annual salary by 30%.
Jessica Lee, I warn you, as long as I'm in this company, you better keep your seductive tricks to yourself and cooperate with me. Otherwise, I'll have you out of here in no time, believe it or not.
Director Smith, you have great power and influence. Rest assured, I will definitely cooperate with you.
Jessica smiled faintly, knowing her plan was working.
And let me tell you, my dad sees you as nothing more than a money-making tool. Don't dream of joining our family. Know your place.
I weigh 98 pounds and 6 ounces.
Jessica turned and left, thinking, joining your family? I wouldn't want to. Some colleagues, indignant at Emily's behavior, expressed their support for Jessica.
She only has her position because of her connections. The director's position should have been yours.
Jessica smiled faintly. With Emily as the scapegoat, even if there were major mistakes at work, how could a deputy director be blamed? Jessica had already investigated Emily. She graduated from an unremarkable foreign university with a degree in business management, a spoiled rich kid with no real skills. Once Emily became the director, the company was filled with sycophants, boosting her confidence. She thought she was qualified for the position and made drastic changes, overturning the company's long-standing practices and implementing new policies she brought from abroad. Seaside Corporation specializes in machinery manufacturing, a heavy industry. The sales market is also focused on heavy industrial cities. Emily decided to focus the second half of the year's sales on the Pearl River Delta and Yangtze River Delta, claiming to open new markets. As the deputy director, Jessica had to fulfill her responsibilities. Otherwise, she wouldn't be able to explain herself if Michael questioned her later.
Director Smith, are you sure this strategy will work? The Pearl River Delta and Yangtze River Delta are light industrial areas.
You have no education, no experience. Besides seducing men, what else can you do? A vocational school graduate, do you understand the market? Do you understand machinery manufacturing? I've made my decision. Just follow the orders.
Predictably, several major projects failed miserably. Meanwhile, Jessica delivered herbal medicine to Michael daily. His gaze towards her grew more complex, and he began taking her to important events. With Emily's incompetence and Michael's poor judgment, Seaside Corporation was in chaos. Soon, Emily's mismanagement caused turmoil in the company. The board members' dividends plummeted, and they began pressuring Michael. In a fit of anger, Michael removed Emily from her director position and announced Jessica as the new sales director. Emily was furious, trashed Michael's office, and was banned from entering the company building. The father-daughter relationship hit rock bottom. With no job, Emily had more time to cause trouble for Michael. To Jessica's surprise, she even tried to use a handsome man to get to her, thinking she could kill two birds with one stone.
Wow, the guy next to Emily is so handsome. Hey, doesn't he look like a celebrity?
Jessica had no interest in the company's gossip, so she paid no attention.
Director Smith, is that your boyfriend? He's so handsome.
Don't be silly, he's just a friend.
I'm David Brown, nice to meet you all.
Jessica glanced at the guy who introduced himself as David Brown. He looked like a fresh graduate, scholarly and gentle. After the hot spring, they went for a late-night snack. To Jessica's surprise, David sat across from her.
You're Jessica Lee, right? I've heard a lot about you. You're even more beautiful in person.
Are you talking to me?
I asked Emily to bring me here. I heard you're knowledgeable about wine. I'd like to learn from you.
Seeing his seemingly innocent face, Jessica smirked inwardly. Let's see what Emily is up to. Jessica played along, chatting with David. After a few drinks, she excused herself, claiming she couldn't handle any more.
Angry, you're just a lowly, unrefined person from the countryside. You don't belong here. Go back to where you came from.
Emily's insults were relentless. She walked up to me, staring into my eyes, and said viciously,
Unfriendly, you think you can compete with me for the supervisor position? Go back to where you came from and start over. You're nothing but a lowly insect, not even worthy of carrying my shoes.
My blood boiled with hatred. Emily Smith, my nemesis, I swear I will bring you down step by step.
Serious, we'll see about that, Emily.
Emily's insults were relentless, and her smug face made me sick. She walked up to me, staring into my eyes, and said viciously,
You're just a lowly, unrefined person from the countryside. You don't belong here. Go back to where you came from.
I never knew someone could be so malicious. All my hard work, my sleepless nights, and dedication were all for making money for this devil, sharpening the tools she used to hurt me.
You think you can compete with me for the supervisor position? Go back to where you came from and start over. You're nothing but a lowly insect, not even worthy of carrying my shoes.
My blood boiled with hatred, turning into sharp daggers that twisted in my heart. Emily Smith, my nemesis, I swear I will drag you into the depths of hell to face judgment. I didn't say a word in response to Emily's insults. My colleagues admired my restraint, speculating whether I would resign immediately. But I was thinking about how to bring Emily down step by step. In the following days, David Brown seemed to vanish into thin air. Soon, Jessica heard that Emily Smith was hospitalized, though the specifics were unclear. It was obvious David Brown must have lashed out at Emily Smith in a fit of rage. With both of them out of the picture, it was perfect for Jessica, making her actions less hindered. The day after David Brown disappeared, the company suddenly announced a new benefit: free health checkups for all middle and senior management.
Jessica, it's time for your health checkup.
Shy, I haven't been feeling well lately.
Please don't refuse this time. It's important for everyone.
Jessica finally agreed and went for the checkup. As expected, the day after the checkup, David Brown returned to the office.
Hopeful, Jessica, please don't be mad. I really had an urgent matter abroad, and it was so sudden that I didn't have time to inform you.
Sad, do you know how worried I've been these past few days? You left without a word, not even a message. I couldn't sleep at night, thinking Emily Smith had done something to you. And if you don't like me, you could have just told me. Why disappear after being with me?
Jessica played the role of a heartbroken girl to perfection, almost moving herself. After cold shouldering David Brown for a few more days, things finally settled down. Not long after, Emily Smith returned to the company, now with a scar on her neck. Despite using a lot of concealer, the scar was still visible. Jessica smirked. David Brown had been quite ruthless. Jessica decided to fan the flames further. She went to an internet cafe and sent the materials about David Brown embezzling company funds to Emily Smith's email. A grand drama was about to unfold. Sure enough, the next day, the company's top executives, including Michael Smith, who flew back overnight, gathered in the conference room.
Angry, you ungrateful wretch. Haven't you taken enough from me over the years? Now you're targeting the company. I was planning to give you half the shares after I retired, but you couldn't wait.
In his rage, Michael Smith didn't bother to hide David Brown's illegitimate status. David Brown was scolded harshly, while Emily Smith secretly enjoyed the show.
Serious, Mr. Smith, scolding can wait. The urgent matter is to stop the losses. The company has been losing money continuously. Major clients are leaving one after another, and the bank is pressing for loan repayments. We need to act fast.
Shouting, get me all the information on your new company, factories, equipment, everything. And set up an investigation team immediately to find out why the major clients terminated their contracts.
The investigation results nearly made Michael Smith collapse. Since Emily Smith took over as the marketing director, major clients had been leaving one by one, with her signature on every termination contract. Moreover, Emily Smith's attitude towards clients was notorious within the company: arrogant, rude, and dismissive, often offending major clients directly. To make matters worse, David Brown's new company was a sham. Apart from the business license, everything else was fake. The company he bought equipment from no longer existed, and even the land for the factory was rented from a scammer. To save money, David Brown had paid the scammer in full, meaning all the invested funds were gone. Michael Smith called the police. But as far as Jessica knew, those scammers were usually overseas, making recovery almost impossible. Seeing Michael Smith nearly collapse from anger was immensely satisfying for her. But Jessica swore this wouldn't be Michael Smith's final downfall. Meanwhile, she discovered significant financial discrepancies at Seaside Corporation. The supposedly ethical Seaside Corporation was suspected of massive tax evasion. If confirmed, Seaside Corporation would be finished, facing huge fines and imprisonment. Jessica examined the company's sales records and accounting vouchers, and her professional instincts told her something was wrong. She suspected multiple instances of forgery and alteration. But to prove Seaside Corporation's tax evasion, Jessica needed the hidden real accounts. Getting those accounts was nearly impossible, so she decided to start with the sales department. Jessica targeted Robert White from the sales department. One day, she invited Robert White to a karaoke bar for drinks.
Cheerful, Mr. White, I've long admired your talent. I'm so glad to finally have the chance to drink with you.
Proud, oh, really?
Charming, Mr. White, you're so charming and elegant. You're the dream man of many women in the company.
Blatant, so, Jessica, am I your dream man too? Ha ha ha.
Friendly, Mr. White, you always know how to joke.
Desire, such a beautiful night. Shall we talk about something more intimate?
Just then, Robert White's phone rang, the caller ID showing wife.
Consider it, answer it, your wife might be worried.
Pompous, she doesn't deserve my attention.
Jessica smirked internally. Everyone knew Robert White was a notorious henpecked husband at home despite his bravado outside.
Sincere, since ancient times, men have been the sky for women. Those who say men fear their wives are failures, because successful men respect women.
Jessica's words made Robert White, who was ashamed of fearing his wife, feel much better. He immediately felt more dignified.
Hopeful, Jessica, you understand me. I like talking to you, it makes me feel good. I'll consider the payment issue.
Charming, Mr. White, you can always talk to me when you're bored.
Emily's harsh words